Don't get too skinny, Santa.
I don't want my ho 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 to go.
No. That's what I was trying to say.
Ho 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 ho. Merry Christmas. Have you been a good boy this year? I happen to have a list that I've been checking. I've been checking it over and checking it twice to find out if you've been naughty or nice. I got the bad list here. That's questionable. That's questionable. Hold on here, man. Good thing I got a good supply of coal, buddy. Oh, hold on here. We have a memo. Why, it's from Mrs. Claus. Oh, man. Oh, it's from the elves, too. And even Rudolph got in on this. Can you believe that?
I believe it.
Dear Santa, we know Don has done so much good with History Mystery Man. So no matter if he's been good or bad, cut him some slack, will ya? We found a loophole. But Mrs. Claus did send this over for you.
Ooh.
Ho, 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 ho.
Despite spending too much time on the naughty list.
Remember the Keebler elves?
Of course I remember the Keebler elves.
They came up to the North Pole. They're working for me now, pal. Ho, 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 ho.
That's the reason for the season, right?
That is the
Celebrating
reason.
the birth of Jesus. The trip up north was icing on the cake. God bless.
Everybody, myself, Mrs. Claus, all the elves, and all the reindeer gather around and we watch the great History Mystery Man, Captain Don Radbaugh himself. That's the good news. The bad news is production stops for about 20 minutes. We're making toys here. We got good boys and good girl for toys, but Rudolph in particular, he's a big fan. One of your biggest fans.
Really?
In fact, at night, he'll light up the room, you know. Ho, 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 ho. I think the world wants to know if you've been naughty or nice, pal.
You like Christmas?
Oh, I love Christmas.
You do?
Sure, sure. We used to go to church. I remember the Christmas services and stuff as a kid. The problem is, it seems like a lot of us, we get older, we don't go to church as much because...
Christmas, for me, is a feeling, you know. It's a feeling, and it builds, and it's a good feeling. And I really appreciate this time of year. I think people, at Christmas time, people seem to be genuinely a little more pleasant and nice to one another. Greeting-wise, hey, Merry Christmas.
Absolutely.
Happy holidays. Now, day after Christmas, all bets are off. We're back to the... But I don't know, I just always felt that people are better at Christmas time. Another reason to love this holiday.
Mm-hmm. In the Great Lakes region, anyway, it's a time for... the ships are all going to be laying up here real quick, you know, and everybody's going to get home in a couple months with their families and stuff. By this time, everybody can't wait to get out of there, you know.
They've had it. They want off the boat.
And once you're an officer, then you can have your wife come with you on a trip or two, you know. My mom used to take trips, especially on the Fitzgerald. She was on the Fitzgerald a lot. That's why that night that it went down, and I called her. I says, Mom, the Coast Guard said it's gone. She said, they're laying behind an island somewhere. I took many a trip on that boat. We had to lay behind an island somewhere. And I thought to myself, sorry, Mom, they said it's gone. It ain't laying behind no island here. And it was almost 2 hours. You realize that from the time it supposedly sank around 7:10, it was about 9 o'clock before the Coast Guard ever got their acting gear. And that was a tough Christmas. That was a real tough Christmas.
I'll bet.
Oh, man, the old man took it so hard.
On the heels of Christmas, the Fitzgerald goes down and changes the world forever.
That's the hold that it's got on people. This is mysterious. How do you make something that big, 2 football fields long, disappear like this, you know? People love a good mystery. And that 2 o'clock service up there at Whitefish Point, between 3,000 and 4,000 people, you could have heard a pin drop up there. Now, no controversy. Nobody's yelling this. Nobody's yelling. It was amazing the amount of love that you could just feel coming from these people. Just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, during the ceremony, nobody had to say, hey, psst, be quiet out there. We're trying to... No, you're right. You could have heard a pin drop. And everybody was so courteous and attentive to the moments.
So many wonderful people were coming up to us and talking to us. I mean, there was a tremendous amount of... Thank you for everybody that came up to Whitefish Point, because that really... Wow, that substantiates what you're doing, if you ask me, when people actually come up and say, hey, well, I really like what you're doing, you know?
Yeah, we knew we had people watching from comments and stuff, but I think we didn't realize how many people were dialed in and how deeply they were dialed in. We found our audience at Whitefish, yes?
Oh,
definitely.
Man. Well, the fact that they were parked, what did we say, 3 miles down the road?
Yeah.
Oh, my, you took that kid to his car We kept driving and driving. And there, these people had to walk.
Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Sure, It's a Wonderful Life.
Of course. Mine too. I mean, there's nothing better than that movie. You know, that movie, when it came out and whatever it was, I don't know the exact year, right after World War II, you know, it bombed at the box office.
Yeah, it didn't do very good.
Nobody came to see It's a Wonderful Life, and so they just set it aside and said, oop, well, we tried. That one didn't work. But then they brought it back out in syndication years later, and that's when the movie took off. That's when we finally figured out how magical this movie was and the lessons it teaches along the way. I love that movie. It is my absolute favorite.
And that is the first movie that Jimmy Stewart made after coming back from World War II. He was a bomber pilot, B-17, 25 missions over there. He saw things that just, oh my God.
What a man.
And he was so depressed. And Frank Capra visited him at his house and said, I got this. It's about an angel and all this. Please come back and let's see if we can make this work. And Jimmy Stewart said that is what brought him out of this PTSD. Let's figure it out. You see what people get killed left and right. Man, you're going to be suffering for that a long time. And he's a tremendous actor.
It's like, what is that? Bedford Falls. Every time I see that movie, I want to be in Bedford Falls at Christmas time. I want to go there. I want to be there. I want it to be snowing, and I want it to be in black and white. Crazy, I know. But I did see a color version of It's a Wonderful Life. I didn't like it as much. I wanted the black and white.
Yep.
I love black and white movies.
I've always equated Sycamore to being a lot like Bedford Falls, you know?
Where you're from.
Yeah. And been down there at Christmas time. I saw the snow coming, and my brother George and I and his kid were walking down the street. Hello, drugstore. Remember Jimmy Stewart's running up and down the street. Hello, I'm Bailey, building alone. You know.
Since you brought up the subject of Sycamore, Ohio, where you were born and raised, can we set the record straight? Because every list I've ever seen published on a piece of paper or on the internet, anywhere and everywhere, has your Uncle Grant, Ralph Grant Walton, an Oiler who went down with the Fitzgerald, has him listed as from Fremont, Ohio. That's not right, correct?
Totally incorrect.
He's from Sycamore, just like all the Walton family.
Yeah, that is correct. He went to Sycamore schools. He lived in Sycamore for years. His gravestone is at the Pleasant Ridge Cemetery there in Sycamore. And
do you have any Christmas traditions? I assume, I know your family's all spread out. They're everywhere.
It was always magical, but now everybody's spread out, so we pretty much just have Christmas morning. Chris and I will, exchange gifts and stuff. But we got the memories, and
that beard that hangs off your jaw, that real, genuine, authentic beard, I feel like I'm really looking at Santa Claus here.
It's real. Folks, it's all real here. I got to tell you, there's a few imposters out there. If you want the real thing, you got to go with the real thing.
If we want the real thing, we're looking at them.
As you alluded to, it's the time of year for everybody to reflect and appreciate, who you've got and who's still left. And if they're gone, we got memories. Wonderful, wonderful memories.
We need to fatten you up a little bit, Santa.
Well, no, I gotta lay low on the ice cream, like I said. I've cut way down. I really have. So I'm gonna break that 200-pound barrier. I'm getting 11 pounds away. So we're working on it.
Don't get too skinny, Santa.
I don't want my ho 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 to go.
No. That's what I was trying to say. So you love Christmas. Good for you. I do too. What's hard about growing old?
We get too smart too late in life.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
It's one of the things, And patience is a companion of wisdom, Well, I'm
think about that.
77 years old, and I figure I've used up 77% of me. So I'm going to 100. In fact, I told before, my Uncle Claude made 101. I was going to beat him by one day.
Okay.
It's like the Homer being 730 to the Fitzgerald being 729, You got to push that record.
Yeah. Trust me. Okay. There is one good thing about getting old for me. In my younger years, I worried constantly about who liked me and who didn't, and how badly I wanted to fit in with the crowd. Mm-hmm. I wanted to fit in so bad, and I adjusted my behavior according to, so that people would like me, and there's none of that anymore. I've reached a point now where I don't care who likes me and who doesn't. It's very liberating for me. I don't worry about that crap anymore.
I stopped worrying about what people thought of me and how I should act a long time ago, and I've made myself a lot happier by doing it. If you don't like me, tough bananas, pal.
When you stop worrying about who likes you and quit adjusting your behavior accordingly, you come into your authentic self, who you really are.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
And I know I can see who you are. Santa.
I'm a legend in my own time.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to be real, and too many people are, look at Hollywood. These people, they're so fake out there, it's ridiculous. They all got to have the facelifts, and they got to trying to look young. Why worry about that? We're all going to age anyway.
You love horses, right?
Oh, yeah, we've had them most of our lives. They're spoiled. And Chris just had a new knee put in, so we can't ride them like we used to. But we're so attached to them. They're family members. And like I said, you don't need a gym membership if you got horses. Because when you clean them stalls up in the morning and you clean them up,
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and that I think is it's what I told her. I says, look, what's the alternative? Move to Florida in a condo and just sit there? If I'm just going to sit there, I'm going to probably start drinking again. I don't want to start drinking again.
No, don't do that. I say keep cleaning up horse crap. Well,
pretty good at it. I'm telling you what, we can really sling it, buddy.
Have you ever heard of a YouTube channel called Dry Creek Wrangler? His name is Dwayne Noel, Noel. He runs a horse wrangling school. And they come by the hundreds and hundreds to go to his school. But beyond that, the man is just so full of wisdom. And he reminds me a lot of you. He's got the big, genuine beard, although he comes to the camera puffing on a big, fat stogie.
I thought you were going to say a joint there for a minute.
No. I don't know. Maybe that too. I don't know. But he has a... We are a couple of old hippies still trying to
adjust.
Trying to adjust. You got that right. But just watch him sometime. And a lot of his wisdom includes his wisdom he learned through horses. He's now at 1.6 million subscribers. I love the guy. I watch him all the time, just about every day. The wisdom he shares, it reminds me of the wisdom you bring.
I appreciate that. Well, that's the secret to get your subscriptions up, to get some horses.
I need more horsepower, I'll tell you.
Let me tell you something now. Horses have such a unique personality.
And they're all different, right? They're not
alike. Yeah. We talk all the time. I talk English, human talk. They talk horse talk, yet we communicate. I can just say to Sadie, move over. I got to get in there. And she just moves right over. Envy, yeah, you want this apple or you want this? And she was, whoa, Wilbur.
A horse is a horse, of course.
But they do talk, I'm telling you, and they communicate, and animals are an amazing thing. But see, Chris was raised on a dairy farm. Her dad was a dairy farmer, and that's why she's a farm girl. She's never lost that ethic, that work. These farmers work hard, man. Don't think they don't, And my Uncle Claude and my Uncle Grant and my dad were raised on a farm. And they all went sailing, and they had this tremendous work ethic, see? That's what's missing in this country right now. They're giving too many people free stuff, and they don't want to work. What is this?
Don't we need a return to work ethic?
How many people can say they were breaking ice under the Mackinac Bridge in the wintertime? Not too many people can say that.
Not too many work the Great Lakes in the winter. They pretty much shut down, or they used to. I'm glad I went through that. It was hell, but I'm glad I went through it.
Well, and as we get older, we've got those memories, and we can say we did it. We tried it. And there's a lot of things I did that I didn't succeed at, but there's a lot of things I did that I did succeed at. So far greater it is to try noble deeds, though checkered with failure, than to join that gray twilight of persons that knows neither victory nor defeat. Walt Disney went to something like 50 or 60 banks to try and get his idea going. But somebody took a chance on it.
Colonel Sanders didn't make it till he was, 67 or something.
There's another one. That's perseverance right there. Don't give up. That's the whole thing. Don't ever give up. The body being what it is, they wear out. So I'm trying to segue into this older thing here. And
Santa Claus is a good segue.
Yes, yes. And I got a lot of help up there between the Keebler elves and
Yeah,
Mrs.
sure.
Claus is very well. We're only a few
We
days
all want
away. Right?
presents.
What's today's date? Today's
17th.
Okay, well, we're coming. Ooh.
I think this is the day the Wright brothers flew their little flyer for the first time, went 12 feet off the ground for 120 feet. December 17th, 1903. 67 years later, we were on the moon.
The magic of this country, too, for years. Because we'd have never won World War II in a million years if all the people didn't. They were enlisted. They were going around the block wanting to enlist. They were so enraged at what was going on. But now, how many Hollywood movie stars do you know go into service? None. Back in them days, Clark Gable, Jimmy Stewart, Matt Dillon, on top of from Gunsmoke.
The drunk on Mayberry RFD, what was his name?
Otis Campbell.
He was a pilot in World
Yep.
War II. I mean, these were men among men.
Yep. So was Barney Fife.
Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
was a war
definitely.
veteran.
Lee Marvin was another one. These guys
Kennedy.
all got the Bronze Star and stuff. It was awesome.
You have to have the courage to fail, and you have to take responsibility completely 100% for your life and the world around you. In other words, it's not your parents' fault, it's not your wife's fault, it's not your girlfriend's fault, it's not your friend's fault, it's not your teacher's fault, it's not your family's fault, it's nobody's fault. It's your fault. You have to look in the mirror, identify the problem, whatever it may be, and have the courage to fix it without blaming the world for it.
Without blaming the world for it. There you go. Key words right there. Stand up, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and try it again. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Well, if it don't work, try something else.
Like the great Henry Ford said, you either think you can or you think you can't. Either way, you're right. That's one of my all-time favorites. Edison was another guy that failed, 10,000 times before he got it right or figured it out.
When Thomas Edison died, Henry Ford had all his stuff taken to Greenfield Village right over in Dearborn, Michigan. People can go check his notes out and do other stuff. Yet when Nikola Tesla died, the FBI confiscated everything he ever did. And to this day, it's still top secret.
Tesla deserves a lot more credit than he ever got.
Oh,
Why
I guess,
didn't
yep.
they want him to give the credit he so richly deserved and earned?
He was dabbling in some things that, you know what I'm saying, that are being used today. Don't think they ain't. He was so far ahead of his time. It was.
I think one of the greatest stories of perseverance and not afraid to fail, since I brought it up earlier, the Wright brothers who flew first in 1903. They were bicycle mechanics, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
They had no education. They had no money. They had no sponsorship. They had no training in the aircraft of flying. They taught themselves how to build wings on airplanes by going down to the river in Dayton, Ohio, and watching how birds, deflected their wings up and down to turn and bank. They studied birds and took those concepts to their creations, these flying machines. Bicycle mechanics without sponsorship, without help, with no education, yet they were the ones that figured it out. So I love the Wright brothers.
They didn't give up,
Exactly.
It's like Mel Fisher, the #1 treasure hunter in this country. He looked for the 1715 Spanish Armada fleet that wrecked off of Florida there for years and years until he finally found it. Well, folks, once again, thanks for all your patronage, and I know that you've all been good, so hopefully I won't have to load up too much coal in the old sleigh. But hit that subscribe button and hit the like button and leave a comment, because the comments are very interesting. And we've learned a lot, you got to admit. A lot of very smart people out here.
And I get a lot of good information off those comments.
Oh, absolutely. There's amateur sleuths out there. You can say we're amateur sleuths, but a mystery is, will it ever be solved? No, we know that. But we're still wanting to know more about it because it's compelling. Once it gets a hold of you, shipping on the Great Lakes.
And it's not going away. I mean, the YouTube space was just overrun with Edmund Fitzgerald videos this year. We've been doing it for 6 years or whatever. We've been doing it from the start, but there were some Johnny-come-latelys this year for sure.
Well, the Fitzgerald belongs to the world now. It's not just local, and people are going to have to wake up to that fact.
The Titanic of the Great Lakes.
And what's going to happen, I'm going to make a prediction right now. I don't know when. But somebody is going to write a wonderful screenplay, and they're going to make a movie about this. And it's not going to be just like the Titanic, but it's going to be similar, but it's a different set of circumstances, you know. And I still say my vote for Captain Cooper would be Kurt Russell. I think he'd make an excellent Captain Cooper.
Appreciate
you.
you.
Folks at home. Ho, ho, ho,
I
ho.
appreciate you and all the value you bring to the channel.
Appreciate you doing what you're doing too. And thanks for driving up to Whitefish Point, because that was a something I'll never forget. It was just a moving experience. The whole thing was moving.
Amazing.
Thanks again.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas to everybody.